Jon Krakauer. Jon Krakauer is a best-selling nonfiction author. His most famous books are both nature stories and adventure tales. Born in 1954, Krakauer grew up in Oregon. When he was 8 years old, his father took him mountain climbing. In 1977, he traveled to Alaska to climb a mountain known as Devil's Thumb. Krakauer turned his experience into a magazine story. It became his first paid writing job. For a few years after college, Krakauer worked as a carpenter and fisherman. He also wrote for magazines. Mountain climbing continued to be his passion. By 1983, he was a full-time writer. In 1983, Krakauer wrote a story for Outside magazine. The subject was Chris McCandless. He was a young man who tried living alone in the Alaskan wilderness. Later, Krakauer turned the story into a book called Into the Wild. It became his first bestseller. A few years later, Outside magazine hired Krakauer to travel to Mount Everest, the world's highest mountain. Krakauer jumped at the chance. He joined a group climbing to the peak. The Mount Everest climb took an unexpected turn due to terrible weather. The trip became an awful disaster. Krakauer returned and wrote his article about the event. An interviewer asked him how he remembered so much about such a distressing experience. I had a big notebook that I wrote in every morning and night in the mess tent, recording what I observed. And every time I stopped to rest or take a drink of water, as a matter of discipline, I take it, a little notebook, out of my breast pocket and write. Once again, Krakauer's magazine story became the subject of a book, Into Thin Air. For the second time, a Krakauer book struck gold. It soon hit the top of the bestsellers list. Number 6. According to the passage, Krakauer was able to write a detailed article about his failed attempt to climb Mount Everest because A. He has a photographic memory, B. The magazine paid him to climb the mountain, C. The climber stopped a lot while climbing, D. He recorded notes during the climb. 7. Part A. What is the main idea of the passage? A. Adventure books are popular to write by nonfiction authors. B. Jon Krakauer is a passionate mountain climber because of his father. C. The most popular books to read have to be about nature and adventure. D. Jon Krakauer is a successful author of true stories of adventure in nature. Part B. Choose 2 details from the passage that support the main idea. A. Jon Krakauer grew up in Oregon. B. Jon Krakauer was 8 years old when his father took his mountain climbing. C. Krakauer worked as a carpenter and fisherman for a few years after college. D. Krakauer wrote an article about Chris McCandless in 1993, which became Into the Wild. E. Krakauer joined a group climbing Mount Everest, but the trip became a disaster. F. Krakauer's magazine article about his Mount Everest climb became the subject of Into Thin Air. Number 8. Which meaning of the phrase struck gold in the last paragraph of the passage? A. Achieved much success. B. Made an important discovery. C. Won a competition. D. Discovered a precious metal. 9. What did Krakauer do after college? A. He was a fisherman. B. He was a writer. C. He was a climber. D. He went home. 10. Use details from the passage to explain the genre of writing that Jon Krakauer is most successful in writing.